Welcome back to another episode of Tropical Fruits of Mother Nature. I know it's been a couple of months since our last episode. I do apologise for that in advance. But like I said, a lot of since our last episode, a lot has changed. We've had a lot of new additions, a lot of losses, a lot of success stories, and a lot of movements. So I thought I'd had the rest of the afternoon free. I'd show you guys sort of what's been happening over the last couple of months. A lot has happened, but yeah, stay tuned. Without further ado, we'll get straight into it. Alright, straight off the offset, without going in there at the moment, just giving it a bit of a water, a bit of a sprinkle. You can see that a lot has changed in here already, and I'll show you guys more in detail, but this has been completely revamped. It's no longer the tropical area. Over the summer period, we found that this area was getting way too much heat, and essentially, as opposed to the trees actually doing better during summer, they're actually going backwards. And another factor being that this place was surrounded by large trees, large eucalyptus trees, which we believe essentially was drying the ground out a lot. And again, these tropicals need a lot of water during the summer period, and they weren't getting that, and so we ended up relocating them. And you can see straight from the front here, three rather, that used to be in the back there have now been moved outside. They're what I used to be called the protected area, which is no longer going to be protected during winter. And I'll go into a bit of detail regarding that shortly. But the three that have been moved out of here, more pointedly, which weren't doing too bad, were the curry leaf tree, as you can see, was doing really well. The lemon guava that is there, which again was one that actually stopped growing, was doing well but stopped growing, and just behind it the wonderful pomegranate. So I'll just give you guys a closer look at the curry tree. There's no harm being done to it since the move. These guys have all been fed a nice dose of seaweed solution to prepare for the move, along with the winter that's coming. So curry leaf tree is doing really well, and so is the lemon guava. So still loads of new growth there, and nothing to complain as I'm getting wet by the water. I'm gonna move off from here for now, and then once I finish watering, we'll get a closer look. Okay, before we move to the new tropical area, this is sort of what I was talking about. As you can see here, this avocado is evident of the effects of the negative effects, I believe, of these larger trees. This guy I water every single day, and he's still droopy. I don't know why, but after a bit of troubleshooting and a bit of surveying as to why he's becoming like that, I came to a conclusion that it must be these trees that are draining the moisture out of the ground. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with this guy yet, this fuerte. Probably going to go back into a pot, but he's no longer staying here, and I don't think I'm going to sort of put anything along here that has a deep root system. But yeah, he's not doing very well at all. He's actually drying up really bad. He's in the shade, so there's no excuses there with him. But it looks like every time I water him, he perks back up, and a day later he dries out. So go figure. Just straight across here on the left is one of the bananas which I moved. You may have remembered from my previous videos if you go back to them. This banana was actually just outside the tropical area, outside the protected area. So he's been moved into this area now. Another one that was way too much sun and was getting burnt really badly. Surprise, surprise, tropicals are ultra sensitive as well, so we've picked that up, unfortunately, at the end of summer, but that's alright. Bananas generally do pretty fine, so no harm there. But he's moved into the shaded area now, and when I say shaded, it still gets afternoon sun, so he'll cop his fair share of sun, but he's moved into this area now. Okay, now if you just ignore the bins on the left there, this is the new area which we've moved everything to. Now we've surveyed the land, the quantity of sun and heat that comes around here, and since we've moved the plants, we've been seeing drastic improvements on them. Now a few of them are a bit close to the fence, I understand. We'll be moving them a little bit further in, but for now this is where they're staying just over winter, before we think about moving them over spring and early summer 2024. But so if I get a closer look, I can show you. The first one is the Babako. If you guys remember, again from my previous videos, you can go back, and I probably didn't notice them then. The leaves were extremely pale and yellow, suffering from a lot of sun damage. It wasn't showing the sun damage, but the way it was showing was that the leaves were really yellow. And here's evidence of one actually, right here. This is an older leaf. I don't know if you guys can actually see it, but you see that yellow tinge there? All the leaves were like that. And now you compare it to what's coming out now, it's a deep glossy green. So pretty happy with that. We saved the Babako. And then right next to it is our Hass avocado. So again, if you remember from our previous videos, this guy was a bit more to the left here, and we've moved him into a more protected area, and he's coming back. He's making a comeback. So hard to say what it was, probably again sun exposure, but as you can see, that's now, since we've moved him, resulted in some new growth, and the new growth is evident amongst the entire trunk of the tree. So don't know how he's going to fathom winter, but we'll keep an eye on him. Doing way better than the Fuerte, which you guys just saw earlier. Alright, one of the losses, if you guys don't, or if you remember, he survived the entirety of winter, came into summer and he died. So it was a coconut, our last coconut. We had 5, we lost all 5 of them. So unfortunately I won't be giving coconut another shot. They're beautiful during summer, but they struggle unfortunately during winter. Going forward, I probably could have left him inside that little bit longer, which actually, come to think of it, I'm just thinking about it now, I actually had them covered, the nut was covered in a bag of water, and I took them out during summer, so that could have actually contributed to their deaths because of the dryness of the temperature that we get here. When you remove the bag, you remove the humidity too, so it kills the nut. I don't know, what are your thoughts on that? But I won't be rushing to try coconut anytime soon in the next couple of years. So alright, move the 2 bananas, which the Pisang Ceylon, they've both been moved now. Doing much better here again. Now I know bananas are a bit tricky to be putting next to the fences. It's kind of torn with these ones because they grow more taller and skinnier than anything. But I'll see how these go, because these ones are not a major concern to me. And again, bananas are pretty pretty hardy when it comes to winter survival. So alright, moving right along, our lychee, which did perfectly fine during winter until it got moved into the ground. As you can see, they're dried out completely. I've done the scratch test and he's still alive, so in order to save him, he's moved back into a pot with a premium potting mix which we purchased, so hopefully he'll do much better. Mangoes have been moved back into pots now. This one's looking a bit dry, he's probably due for a watering, and he's getting loads of new growth too, so This was all part of the major move and the major changes that were happening. So these guys will eventually go back into the ground, but that will be after the ground is properly mulched, and it's not and the drainage is a little bit better. So below him we've got the kiwi berry, which was removed too, again because like I said, it dried out way too quickly. Scratch test reveals that he's still doing perfectly fine too, still alive. So we'll hold out hope for this guy, and he should survive winter pretty fine. Come next year, we'll move him into the ground too. So, and he can crawl over the fence. See how that goes. Moving right along. Now this banana, ladyfinger banana, one of the bigger ones, which we purchased. He is a little bit burnt, but I'm not too concerned with him being burnt. Like I said, he was another one that's been moved. He was in the sun for a long time, and that's alright. These bananas are pretty hardy, so I'm not too fussed. That's a ladyfinger. He's a little bit close to the fence. I will consider moving him further away as he grows a little bit bigger. Maybe spring, probably. Straight next to him, the Taiso lychee, the survivor, and he's just gone crazy. If you remember from my last video, this guy suffered so much, and thanks to all your support and all your tips, I ended up putting him back in the shade to recover. Fed him lots of seaweed rather. Wish I could have some seafood, but some seaweed, and the results have been fantastic. So couldn't be any more happier. He's made a 100% comeback, and I'll be protecting him during winter, and hopefully he does all right. But he's doing way better than what he was. If you have a look at my past 2 videos, you'll see what I mean. We have another Babako here, which is doing fine. No complaints at all from him. Again, Babakos are pretty hardy. A Moringa, which we received. I don't know if I did a video on that. I can't remember. It's been that long ago. But the Moringa is doing really well. No complaints with the Moringa there. It's healthy height. Loads and loads of new growth, as you can see here. So really happy with the drumstick tree. Nice close up. Moringa does pretty well. Hopefully in winter he does okay. If not, we'll move him in. We've moved the dragon fruit, which was doing okay in that area, in the protected area, but I mean, given the type of plant that they are, they generally do, or the cactus that they are, they generally do okay in dry heat. But I thought I'd move him here anyway, since I'm moving most of them here. The second mango, which is the R2E2, and I'm going to confirm whether or not that's a seedling or a graft. It's a grafted one, so the first one was a seedling. Also back in a pot, and as you can see, this is why we moved them, right? So there you go, guys, that's the evidence, and that's why we moved them. So happy to say they're doing much better here. And then on the lower side of the canopy, we've got our Balimbi, which is growing really well. And these guys will all be put in a smaller greenhouse. The ones in the pots will be put in a smaller greenhouse with a humidifier. And let me know what your thoughts are on having humidifiers as opposed to heaters indoors too. So see how he goes. And last but not least, we've got our ice cream banana, which took a massive hit, and I think that's again got to do with the trees taking all the water off him. As you can see, compared to last year, this guy was flying, and now he's taken massive step backs. Still got his smaller pup there with him, which is fine. I'll leave him there, but no good at all. Alright guys, I'm going to turn off the water from watering the plants, and then I'll show you what's happening on the other side. Alright, okay, so from the get-go, you can already see what the heat's been doing to all the plants. I'll just show you quickly. How sad. Not happy. There's a little bit of water still sprinkling out. I must not turn it off properly. That's all right. Okay, starting with this banana here. I believe is a monkey banana. Been chopped down. The last couple of days have been really windy, and this guy was not healthy at all. Was bending over, and I thought, nah, I'm gonna chop him off. So I've cut him down to establish the root ball a little bit better, and hopefully he'll be able to come back a little bit stronger next year. Not too fast if he dies, because his pup there, as you can tell, is doing absolutely fine. Papaya just below it, Sri Lankan red again. No complaints at all. Not growing. Hasn't made any changes at all this entire summer. I'm not sure if that's the soil, but he's not moving, which is doing my head in, because this is the time that they're meant to grow. But we'll give him till autumn, the end of autumn, because autumn's the best time for my plants over here. The temperature is between 20 to 23, or even higher, maybe up to 28. And these plants pretty much thrive in that weather, because we still have that bit of that dryness, and it still rains a bit. So we'll see how he goes. Sugarcane all dry, a little bit of green, but this is what I mean. I'm thinking of putting some sort of shade cloth over this entire area, but I'm not entirely sure just as yet. Might be, like I said, mainly for veggies, so we'll see how that goes. Our aloe vera is doing okay. This is our new banana which we got. Same one as if you guys watch George's videos. That's a new banana, which is the William Cavendish. So thought to give him a go here. He's got a little bit of burn here, but the new leaf which he popped out is fine. So he'll stay here. And this corner of the back garden is pretty shady, so nothing to worry about too much. I haven't watered these guys just as yet, and these guys will get a proper water. So we've moved some of our chilies back in this corner here. They were drying out way too much on the other end. As you can see here, all the chilies have been moved. Our tea plant has been moved too, so he's no longer there, and our blueberry on the bottom left too. So a lot has been moving, guys. We haven't, based on the summer of 22, our results have not sort of been what we've expected. So this is what remains of the coconuts, for those of you who want to see. Not what we expected, so a bit disappointed, but we'll learn from it, and we move forward. So alright, we had the mango here and the corn. If you remember, that's all been changed now. So it now houses our coriander, spinach, and our future snow peas. So that's a bit of veggies for you veggie lovers. Our other papaya, which has moved quite a bit, he's done pretty well. His leaves are growing really big, so I can't complain with him. He's actually done really well. When I say really well, he's still undersized, still requires protection. So instead of an overhead protection for these guys, they'll be getting probably small little tent size protections. So that's what will happen for those two papayas. The heat's knocked a few of these out, but essentially once they come back, pak choy, wong bok, and bok choy that are growing there, are supposed to be growing. Overhead we've got our broccolis, our fishtail herbs, and that was the old place of the banana, which has now been moved. Everything else still remains the same. The thirsty pepino, which I'm yet to try a full fruit from, and the cardamom, which is staying the same there. That can remain there. And I can't forget to show you guys, we've also moved the allspice, which has done a heap of good. He prefers the shade. For any of you who want to try allspice, shade loving plant. They don't like direct heat, they don't like direct sun, and he's doing wonderful here. So I'll keep an eye on him during winter, see how he goes. I mean, he has been acclimated already. If he need be, we'll put a tent over him too. But the fruit salad plant's doing just well as well, so no complaints there. That is pretty much it. We've still got another besides our passion fruit's doing well too. Yet to flower, but that's alright. Let's have a look. I'm just trying to think if I've missed anything, but that is pretty much it. As you can see, the damage from the sun is evident, but unfortunately we can't do too much but learn from that, and protect it for winter and hope for the best next summer. Well, not hope for the best, but hopefully we've given them the right protection that they need. Just moving on, the ice cream bean, she's doing really well. It's growing really well. It's a bit thirsty, so we'll probably give it a water shortly after the video. The dwarf banana, she's doing really well. It's sending out even more shoots, which we'll probably have to remove. So I've got 1, 2, 3 shoots that have just come out of there. So he's doing really well. The dwarf banana, can't complain. And that is pretty much it, guys. Everything else is, like I said, it's not pretty much it. A lot has changed. We've moved a lot. I'm just trying to think what else. We lost the other papaya too. We had 3 papayas, if you remember. The other one I lost. It's a bit of a combination of 2 factors. Factor 1 was it was drained and the soil below dwarfed it, so it wasn't going to grow anymore. Factor 2 was it was alive. It was surviving, not thriving. It was surviving, and then I went to move it and I snapped it. Snapped the root ball when I went to move it out. What do I take from that? Hard to say. We'll see how we go with the next 2 papayas, and then possibly next year, or we can order one from Daly's to be moved into the new tropical area. So that's where we stand at the moment. It is a bit of a short video, I know that. But I missed one more thing. Okay, the Hawaiian guava. Not a very good time to show you it now, but it's looking a bit sad. But the Hawaiian guava is doing well too. He doesn't mind the full sun. He's happy here. Again, he's just a bit hot. Once I water him, he perks back up. And you got lemongrass and cassava there too. Which is a type of root veggie if you don't already know. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Everything else is doing a-okay. Nothing to complain about. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. How your garden went over the summer. And don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. I'm always interested to know what you guys think. And I always take what you guys say as constructive criticism and assistance and help into the next decisions that we make. What's that? Is that another? Oh, look at this, guys. I just noticed this now. This dragon fruit. I didn't even notice that. He's branched out. Look at that. There you go. You guys are the first to see. Yeah, lovely branch. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you from the next video. Goodbye from now.